Remember when I gave you 5 tips for better trains? Well, here's 5 more. Model manufacturers do a great job in creating astounding models which both make jaws drop and wallets shrivel up. But as with everything, they can be made better. And similarly, older models can also be brought up to a similar level on the cheap too. Before we start, help a brother out and hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I promise I'll never ever say help a brother out again. So without further ado, let's jump in. Number 1. Paint smoke boxes a different black. Look at most steam locomotives that are out running. The smoke boxes are not quite as shiny and as pristine as the boiler paintwork, with perhaps exception to a few like Clan Line, which are always sublime when they leave shed before each run. The reason for this dull look is because unlike the boiler and firebox, the smoke box has insulation which can get very hot, which over time affects the nature of the paint. Whilst it may initially have been finished off more glossy, slowly it will become a more matte finish. So unless you're wanting an X-Works locomotive, then either a satin finish if it's been in regular service, or a matte finish if it's really been worked hard and is quite mucky. This is a very simple modification to do. Just carefully paint around the smoke box with your desired level of dullness. And it's black. Very nice. Number 2. Paint moulded details. Models, both new and old, have a plethora of details. A lot are usually picked out in paint, on newer models anyway. But often some are missed or are incorrect. Or if it's just an older model, there's plenty that have just been left out. So, bring up a photo of the locomotive you're modelling and just work through it, comparing the model to the photo, and pick out anything you find. Very simple little tip, but really makes your model pop. If you can't find any suitable photos, just look at a similar locomotive and you might find some details on there. If possible, avoid photos from preservation, as they might not be wholly accurate. But understandably you might need to head towards that, as a lot of the times, in the 30s at least, most photos are black and white, which make finding colours a bit difficult. Right, before we move on to the next point, let's just have a goosey gander to see where this episode's steam spend is going. This time, we're giving our tenner to the Royal British Legion. As even though this episode hasn't gone out on Remembrance Weekend, I'm working on it through this term. And well, it's a pretty good cause. Number 3. Unsurprisingly, as a method of mass human transit, trains have people in and around them. But frequently this is seemingly forgotten, as you see trains driven by no one, hauling empty carriages and stopping off at empty stations for towns with a population of 0. It's a little bit understandable, as some packs of people are expensive. Just look at the likes of pre-painted figures from Bachmann or Knock, however you say that. But if you look to eBay, you can pick up bulk packs for under a tenner. Granted, you'll probably need to give them all a repaint, as they come in pretty crazy colours, but just popping them around can really bring your layout to life just that little bit more, and make your trains look like they're actually doing something. For some of the more prominent characters, like drivers, head to the likes of Dark Castings and get some of their white metal figures. They're more pricey, but still reasonable, and the quality is much higher. And they have quite a broad range of figures and poses as well. Number 4. Load wagons. In a similar fashion to the previous point of trains carrying no passengers, a lot of freight trains are running empty also. This is another simple task, and it can be used to hide another helpful little job, which is adding weights to wagons, which for me is just using some wheel balancing weights glued into place. On top of that, a bit of cardboard is cut to fill the gap. This is then painted black and then the coal glued on top. Or, if you want some wood, that can be glued on top too. This is just created using some coffee stirrers that I borrowed from my local coffee shop. Simple black thread is then used to act as rope to hold it in place. This was then pulled tight and glued at each end. This, however, shouldn't just be limited to open wagons. Flat wagons shouldn't be forgotten either. For instance, these large lengths of lumber have been fitted to this macaw, using a similar technique with thread threaded through some 0.8mm holes through attaching eyes and glued into place. For research on this, onto how different lengths and different items are stored in wagons, I looked to the Great Western Railway's appendix to the rulebook, as this had a lot of images and diagrams which were both very helpful in showing the proper manner in which different goods are loaded. Number 5. Simple detailing. You know those annoying packs that come with every locomotive ever? Well, if you fit them, they will actually look a little bit better. Fact. The drain cocks, vacuum pipes and brake rigging all just add a little bit more realism. You can even go further and get the Hornby locomotive detailing pack, which includes the likes of fire irons and some lamps. This is a little bit crude, but it sort of does the job. If you want something a little bit better, check out the fire iron fret from Langley Models and lamps from Model U, which are both very attractive and together are about the same price as one of the Hornby packs. Etch name and number plates are something I bang on about a lot, but I do think they make a big difference, and again I'll bang on about them here. Get them and fit them. They look great, and they're super simple. Just cut off the fret, dab on some super glue, put it into place. Ta-da! And there we go. There's another 5 ways to make your trains look better. Black smoke boxes, paint the details, add people, load wagons, add simple details. Hopefully, this will help fill some of those cold, dark evenings with some light entertainment. Thanks for watching, and remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed this. Swaz out.